Hey guys, what is going on? RedMaster here, and welcome back to an episode of Cards and Castles TV commentary. We got some great matches lined up for you. I don't want to take too much time here in the opening. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump right in to match number 1. Alright, and so for our first match, it is going to be Hector taking on Grodd. A little bit of Awakening, I assume, in the Warlock Ninjas, taking on a Druid Viking. Honestly, not a deck that I've seen on this series for some time. So I'm kind of I'm curious to see what type of pirate druid we might be seeing here. Grodd actually starts out with a Salar Soldier, which is interesting. Not really a choice you see all too often in these colors, but Hector's going to respond to that with a Rider, so very standard opening move there. The exchange goes to... I would say that ends up more in Grodd's favor. He keeps his 2-1 Salar Soldier. Takes a little bit of castle damage, but of course Hector's going to clean that right up with the Lumberjack, so a little extra draw for Hector. He's also going to metal out his Sleeping Dojo, I believe. Yep, there it is. So, again, solidifying that it not only is Awakened, but he does maybe have some Awakened units for draw, maybe. Grodd's going to respond to that by placing your Wizard. Very good. Get some range threats on the board. Scout, though, from Hector. So, not the Awakening that I thought it was going to be, but we'll see if Hector can make use of that Scout. Sniper, meanwhile, another range unit from Grodd. Curious to see if this might be maybe a buff focus deck. I do see Ludicrous Strength, I do see Temple, and we do see some range units. Make that 2 Ludicrous Strength, actually. Hector actually got a Gravestalker on the board now. Wizard placed a little oddly. Any sort of global buff can end that Wizard. Or Badger. Badger opens up. Although that Badger will make a sacrifice, of course, Sniper being right there. Ludicrous Strength, yep, going on the Sniper. And he has to be careful here because ninjas do carry Dissipate, Detention, things like that. So we may not be sure if Hector carries any one of those tools to get rid of the buffed units like this, but we'll see. Hector losing that Dire Badger, replacing it with a Mage Apprentice. So again, looking for that extra draw. The Gravestalker did pop his Awaken, so he did get some draw for that, and Masuda as well. So looking to draw some extra cards in the next turn. Forest Watcher, though, going down from Grot, so does take out the Mage Apprentice, and one of the zombies weakens the Scout, although he didn't really need to weaken him for Sniper to kill, and do a little extra chain damage on the castle and that dojo. Hector, is going to respond with a Zombie and a Dragon's Fire to properly trade off with the Titan Watcher. Interesting there. That does give Grodd the opportunity to... Okay, doesn't attack the castle, instead going for the kill on the zombie, protecting his Sniper, but Ludicrous Strengthening... Okay, well, Ludicrous and the Sniper again, making sure it doesn't die to any sort of burn. And Centaur being played aggressively to actually clear off that dojo, so I guess Grodd didn't want any more draw for Hector. Dissipate, something that I kind of warned about going forward in the matchup, did eventually come out, did hit the Sniper, so... benefit, he does keep the Sniper, but now he does lose all those buffs. Badger and Dojo going to come back out on Hector's side, so looking for some draw there. Grodd not really able to respond with a whole lot. He does summon out some soldiers and peasants, and a Forest Watcher to kind of do a little bit of early damage on that Badger, although I don't think it's going to be as effective as he thinks it will be. But we'll see. I mean, Hector can easily burn away those 2 units, but it doesn't look like he's got that burn right now. Or maybe he does. Rite of Awakening on Shodan's going to lunge out, I imagine, and hit... Okay, well, Badger made a trade with the Forest Watch. Okay, not where I think it was going to go, but who knows? Maybe that Shodan's got a little bit more power holding up. Again, we'll have to see. Sniper, Seed of Regrowth. I believe Grodd's going to go ahead and take a little bit of damage out. Let's see. Yep, there goes the Peasant, doing a little bit of chip damage there. Sniper being played just to avoid any sort of Shodan burst damage, although... honestly, that's not the best place for him since Shodan will be able to reach. Meditation going down. Alright, so a lot. Okay. We're really suiting up on the Awakening stuff here. We're gonna. Yep. Alright. There it is. There's the Headmaster. So that is probably going to be game for Hector. I almost forgot who owned that Shodan for a hot second there. Rite of Awakening as well. So, yep, getting all the power he can. He did have enough already, but really he's just kind of souping it up now. I don't know how many. Well, 17. How much explosions has he got? 8. Yikes. Nasty explosion. But that will be the game in Hector's favor. They're coming out with the super buffed Shodan. you know, I guess it's to be expected. Most Awakening decks either go for this style of just general Awaken, how they get a lot of power and resources off the draw, or they like to supercharge units like Golem or Shodan. In which case, the example here, we saw a supercharged Shodan run out. There he is, 17-20, goes ahead and bashes the castle for a one-strike kill. Good fight, though, by Grodd. He did have him a little bit in the earlier phases there. You know, I'm kind of curious as to why soldiers and peasants. I get that it's a maybe a buff-oriented deck, so those cheap units out earlier to give you, I guess, the body to receive the buff. But I don't know. To me, I don't know if the soldiers, excuse me, and the peasants fit in all too well. But overall, a good match and a solid win for Hector, bringing out, like I said, these supercharged Shodans. Let's go ahead and move on into match number 2, though, and see what that match has in store for us. Can I find my cursor? Okay, and number 2, it is going to be, I don't know how to pronounce that, tsiou? Again, I'm going to call him T. T taking on Chelsea. Looks like Chelsea's rocking the Warlock Crusader. T rocking the Ninja Viking. And a bit of a curious mix here. We've got Ragnar, Call to War, War Elephant, and Minotaur. Not really opening up with a lot, though. Call to War is going to be his first card played to respond to a Rider and a Imp. Although he does pull out a strong pull in Master at Arms, unfortunately Salahar Rider's last will does remove that from the board, leaving Imp to take an additional 5 damage to the castle. And we're already off to a rough start here for T. I keep trying to pronounce it, but it's not going to work out. Chelsea going to go ahead, chip a little bit with the Imp there, as you just saw, placing a trap down as well. That is going to be Flames of Eternity, which is a great trade for this Imp, going ahead and taking out the War Elephant with it, leaving T with no sort of defense on the castle. Books comes out now, so looking for some more draw and the Lumberjack. And of course, this is all sort of standard Warlock Crusader good stuff as of now. Not sure if it's an Awakened deck yet, but we'll have to see as the match goes on. We do see an Aeroth with no dragons on the board to support its ability, so no initiative. Darkbender, though, from Chelsea comes out, taking a little bit more damage with those books. And a Flame Prince coin will end Chelsea's turn, it looks like. Again, positioning that Darkbender, looking to kill off the Aeroth. Stone Dragon statue, as of now, looking to, okay, Vanishing Strikes the Aeroth. That's a good maneuver there. Of course, clears off the books, and of course, the Drake lying in wait for that Aeroth can lunge out, actually, and attack that Darkbender. Chelsea actually notices that, does a smart thing here and retreats it. Obviously, I don't think, the hand right now that, Chelsea's got is suited for removal of that Green Drake. So, of course, Darkbender being a high-value target, smart move, moving it to the back there, protecting it, because he knows Aeroth, he knows Aeroth is in the hand, and, of course, that can lunge out and do some massive damage. So, does do a little Lumberjack chip, though. We'll see. Okay, there is a Master at Arms, a little shiny one as well. Love to see little foils on some of these cards sometimes. And of course, Might of the Minotaur, Green Drake moving up, positioning it to make proper use out of the Aeroth that's in his hand there. Chelsea, though, responding with another Lumberjack, activating the trap card, and Might of the Minotaur comes out. That will be a solid trade, though, for Darkbender, making sure that that attack does get nullified a bit there. You see the Dragon's Fire come out now, and of course, Darkbender finishing off. Kind of did give a little bit of a spoiler there that Master at Arms was dying. But anyway, did die, though. And we do see Ice Drake now in the hand as well. So that's actually going to be not only more value for the Aeroth, but of course, Green Drake going to get a nice little buff because of that. I assume, yep, it's going down. 8 gold is actually the perfect amount. Plays both Ice Drake and Aeroth, lunging both boys in. Green Drake actually going for castle damage, evening up the game here, making it 9-9 each. And of course, Ice Drake going to go ahead and freeze the Darkbender to keep it from doing anything of value. Another Dragon's Fire, though, does clear off not only the Ice Drake, but the Green Drake as well, of course. Killing off the Green Drake does leave Green Drake without any sort of Drakes to buff it. So that, alongside the damage, is the amount that he needed to, disappear. So, meanwhile, Chelsea looking to block that Darkbender, as you can see there. The Flame Prince up for defense. We'll see. Ooh, there's a nice, interesting card choice. I mean, we've seen a lot of interesting choices out of T's deck here. But Tension, going to go ahead and actually, I assume, yoink the Flame Prince away. Aeroth comes in, smacks the Darkbender. Rune Warrior as well to kind of keep up the pressure. And things are looking good for T, although Chelsea does have options here. One of those options being, as you can see there, Craxus. So, of course, cards for Chelsea, and you know, T has options here. He does have the option. Regardless, Rune Warrior is able to make the trade here, but it's about whether he wants to protect that Rune Warrior and keeping it alive, dealing more damage to the castle, hopefully, or playing the Ragnar. I believe if he does play Ludicrous Strength, he does get this Rune Warrior to 7/7. So even with the Lumberjack here, he wouldn't be able to kill it with what's on the board. He would have to use something else. But we'll see which route T takes. He could also throw the Salahar Rider out as well if he does buff. Looks like he's not going to buff though, which is fair. He does want to get, I guess, a big threat out on that board, and it's going to be Ragnar. And of course, Ragnar is a scary boy, especially with that 210 health, and of course the biggest chain in the game. Arbiter, though, from Chelsea, looking to deal another major blow to the castle, it looks like, and that's smart. Of course, as you can see, we're getting down to the last few turns here, and T runs no heals, so every bit of damage counts here. So smart to hit the, especially since he knew we couldn't kill off the Ragnar. It's smart to go for more castle damage in this scenario. And of course, T could have an option to remove this Lumberjack, you know, maybe a speed buff onto the rider, and it does clear for a big strike on the castle. But I don't know if T is running that kind of stuff. We do see Koru, not the card that I think T wanted to see there, but Koru coming down, Ragnar smacking the Lumberjack for some draw. I guess looking to block any sort of potential draw from Chelsea next turn. Might as well get what's in the, you know, what's in the deck to the hand now. Does he get another card? No. Yeah. So Fear from Chelsea looking to cycle and of course push that Lumberjack back. Flamestorm, Tarius Files do a good job of clearing out the Salahar Rider and of course damaging this castle further. You know, it's getting down to the wire here for T. He has to make, okay, another Flamestorm, so really only giving him one turn, killing off the crew as well, so T can only make, you know, one move here, and of course it's going to be a Magic Eater, you know, and Ragnar not being able to lunge out properly. I think if he was actually able to lunge out and do a little bit of extra damage, he might have had this game in the bag. That's debatable though, considering that Chelsea does run, you know, probably another Arbiter in there, maybe some burns like Defective, another Flamestorm. But you know, if Ragnar was able to lunge out, there might have been a different result here. But it looks like it is going to. Oh well, there's Priest. So I don't think. Okay, well maybe if that's the case, then Priest would have been able to save Chelsea there. But Ragnar going to go ahead and get cleared off by both Kraxus and Priest. We move into sudden death, and of course T only has one on the castle, so of course that it will be chopped down. And those are some good cards too. If he actually had this board here with a turn left, or you know, turn to actually make, that probably would have been T's game. A little interesting mismatch of cards there though. We saw what, War Elephant, Master at Arms, Aeroth, Stone Drake, Ragnar, Rune Warrior. Kind of curious, you know, that good mashup, excuse me, of cards, but, you know, it goes to show you that not everyone's got that full collection, and they do try to make do with what they have here, and I do think, if given a little bit longer on that, on the turns, I think T might have actually been able to sneak out the win on this one, but unfortunately, time was on his side, so... With that being said, strong win for Chelsea and the Warlock Crusaders. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get into our final matchup of the day, match number 3. And for this one, we've got another interesting Druid Viking matchup, that's for sure. So DonCorleone, I'm gonna just Don. Don is so much easier. Don in the Druid Viking taking on Max in the Druid Crusader. So, interesting little mashup of Druid styles here, and of course, two that aren't necessarily big right now. They do have their own power to them, yes, but we don't see them a lot, or at least too often. Don actually looking to run a lot of beast synergy here. We do see a Northland's Wolves here, complemented by 2 pack of Wolves, so we'll see if those come in any bit of handy later on in the matchup here. But Don going to be the first one to move. Throws out that Northland's Wolf there, and Max doesn't actually have an answer for that, so of course... 2 damage run the castle. I don't think you should worry about it too much though. Of course he does run the Crusader, so heal might be lurking in that deck, but the Northland's Bear going to go ahead, chop the Wolf down to size here. And of course, Don doesn't really have a lot of options in this hand right now for Bear. You see he's going to set up here with an Armory. He does have the Centaurs in his hand, so even if he's not able to properly utilize the Companion off of Centaur, he will be able to make this trade here unless that Bear gets a global buff. We'll see if that's going to be the case here from Max. Max does throw out the Armory. So, of course, that Bear getting a little extra power. And, of course, being able to survive the incoming assault of the Centaurs. Another Northland's Bear, though. So, Don actually going to openly respond to that Bear with a Bear of his own. Max does have the option to go for another castle hit. Actually goes for the armory, which is the smart choice here, giving himself the edge in global buff games. Although Don can do that too in a way. We'll see if he decides to take that opportunity. We do see, yep, Centaur going after the armory with a little bit of bestial rage to support. We'll see him go, yep, castle first, chopping down the armory here. And that's actually a great value for Centaur. Not only does it clear off the armory, gets rid of the global buffs here, but takes out the bear, as you saw, because it loses that one bit of health, and takes down the wolf, or at least is able to make the wolf killable for the bear, again, losing that 1-1 buff. And, of course, it leaves a nice 4-4 Centaur right on face there. Max will go ahead and respond with an Ancient Arbor, so not actually being able to kill the Centaur this turn, so we'll see some free damage from, okay, we'll see a Windfall Griffin. I think, okay, so Windfall Griffin responding to the Ancient Arbor, plus the Centaur not before getting a little strike on the castle, though. And that's kind of curious. I'm not sure that was the play I would have made. Obviously, Ancient Arbor is a big threat, but of course it is slow, so he might have been able to allow that to come in for maybe a turn, an extra turn maybe, before having to deal with it, and maybe got a little more value off the Centaur chip, but regardless, we'll see if it pays off. Divine Knowledge from Max, and go ahead and get some two additional cards. Knight of Flowers as well. I think Don definitely needs a unit here. He does grab Berserker, which is going to be a nice complement to that Centaur. Centaur being able to get summoned from the companionship of Berserker, going ahead chipping the Knight down to size, and of course leave some two strong good bodies, maybe not the strongest. Centaur though, make that double Centaur play. Going to go ahead chip both of those units down to size, so now we're back at a clear board. And I believe Don's going to go, okay, goes for the pack of wolves, not the move I was thinking of. I guess it's maybe smart to hold on to the arm just for any sort of, surprise lightning. Arc Druid, though, from Max, interesting choice there, considering they can't really reactivate that Leanna. But still, Spirit Link is good to see. It is fun. And actually, this gives great value to a second pack, which we do see being played there. Bestial Rage being played on one of these wolves. Of course, Leanna going ahead gets a little bit of damage in. Of course, these wolves, each time they die, they are, making each other stronger. So it is smart there. I probably would have killed the Leanna off of the Rampage Wolf. Of course, that means one of these top wolves would be able to clear out the Trent. Well, I guess really not, because the Trents have Spirit Link. I don't know. I thought there is a better trade on paper, but you gotta remember Spirit Link. I didn't remember Spirit Link for a hot second there, so that was the right play. I do apologize. That was a proper play. And how will Max respond to this, though? He doesn't really have, Chain to deal with, wolves like this, or, I guess Burn or Chain for that matter. So we'll see. He's got Inspire being played right now that will yield him both a Shield Runner and a Guardian. So Guardian actually coming out now, doing alright. Not the play. Okay, well, Forest Watcher actually making one of the wolves weaker. Although, yeah, both of those wolves got both of their last wolves off. So now each of these wolves being 6/7. It does end the game, though, considering what you see in the hand there. That is a Lightning Blade, which will, regardless, end the game no matter how you look at it. I think Don's going to go for a little bit of style points here. Lightning Blade on the backmost wolf, going ahead, doing a little Leanna damage. Opening him up there for the wolf at 7/8 to take down the castle. So that was fun. I really like the use of the wolves there. Not something I see too often. And actually, if you guys were here for the Last Will Druid Warlock, a few months back, I actually would, push the Wolf's Last Will and the Wolf Synergy as sort of like a point of the deck. Why does Last Will in Druid Warlock exist? Well, you have wolves. That's pretty much the be-all and end-all of that. But it's really fun to see, cards like this being utilized in the ways that they are. I do think it was interesting to see other cards being thrown in there. We did see the Berserker, I believe. What else did we see? We're going to go ahead and run a little bit. Well, the Centaurs, obviously. Yarms. We didn't see Yarm come out. That would have been a good play. But yeah, I do think the Beasts worked well here. The Wolves worked well here to form a little bit of fun synergy. Of course, he's not probably going to get that every time, considering that he does have to have both of those packs. And they both cost 8 gold, so it is quite an expensive combo to play. But nonetheless, a fun watch to be sure. So, with that being said, strong win to Don, making sure the Druid Vikings come out on top at least once in this episode. And with that being said, guys, I think that's going to be a perfect place to close out this video. With that being said, guys, I hope you did enjoy this edition of TV Commentary. Let me know what you guys thought of the matches by leaving your thoughts down in the comment section below. And while you're down there, if you haven't done so already, be sure to like the video if you guys enjoyed it. Share with your friends, and of course, subscribe if you are new or haven't done so already to support the channel. Maybe click that bell as well to be notified for all uploads going live. And with that being said, guys, that's going to do it for me for now. Blah. So, until next time, stay gaming.